Welcome to the calm before the storm. And this Bitcoin price action is about to get explosive because the signals that are printing right now on the chart, we have literally never seen this in the history of Bitcoin. So make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click that bell for notifications because we are bringing you the most timely Bitcoin updates on YouTube and you are really going to want to pay attention to this one. So let's dive right into it here. As we all know, the Bitcoin price, the pump has kind of slowed down for the past few days. And as the price was getting higher and higher to this key zone of resistance, we saw market Cipher B, our oscillator, printing lower momentum waves, lower money flow, a very, very bearish divergence, giving us the dreaded and the feared upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boob pattern, where we can clearly see as price was coming up to the key level, Sam Bankman-Fried's man boobies on market Cipher B here were getting lower, the momentum waves and the money flow. In fact, if we zoom in right here on the chesticles, we can see the money flow is actually getting lower here. The red pepperoni nipples getting lower, the momentum waves getting lower. Now, what's very interesting about this pattern is that typically when this happens, we see a very, very fast follow through with a sharp drop, which is why we actually did give the short setup in advance over in the Casper Crew VIP Discord to take the short from $24,000. And if you're in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, you are aware of that level. We managed to snag the short literally right from the top. And by the way, if you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where every single day we give the setups that we are looking to trade. We do 3 live streams a day outlining the price action, what we are looking for. You can go to patreon.com/Jason Casper. Also, if you want to trade on ByBit for 0% limit fees, link in the description, guys. A great deal for people who want to save a lot of money on fees, especially if you are day trading or scalping on lower term time frames. Of course, this is only for people who know actually how to trade. So very interesting that we have not really gotten a move to the downside. But what's even more interesting is right now, as I make this video, just an hour ago, we are officially now printing the golden cross on the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. You can see right here, the 50-day moving average has officially now peeked its head up over that 200-day moving average. Now, historically speaking, this is a bullish symbol for Bitcoin. It never means long now, but when the 50-day moving average crosses over that 200-day moving average, it typically marks a significant reversal in trend. Okay, let's just go back in time just to show you what I mean here, because a lot of people say, I don't pay attention at all to it. Well, if we just look at it, it doesn't necessarily give us a trade setup, but what it does do is it tells us maybe the trend is changing, right? We get the golden cross over here back in September 2021. Again, it doesn't mean to long right away because we do get a pullback, but then we pump 70%. And the time before that was back at the end of the bear market over here. In February 2020, we got that golden cross, and you can see that this was the beginning of the massive bull market to Bitcoin's all-time high. So we know that historically speaking, this is a bullish signal. However, and this is very important, if we take a look at the weekly time frame, we can see that we are about to print a death cross, where the 50-week moving average is about to cross below the 200-week moving average. And we have never in the history of Bitcoin seen a death cross on the weekly time frame. And what's even more crazy is we're seeing a golden cross and a death cross happening at the same time. And the question on everybody's mind is, what is this going to result in? Well, the first thing that I really think we need to pay attention to is, where are these crosses actually happening? Because I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of people have also noticed, that these crosses are actually happening at very key zones of support and resistance. For example, this death cross on the weekly time frame is happening exactly at this key support resistance flip. The May low and the August high is the exact level where this is crossing over bearish. And right now, this is the next major zone of resistance that we have on the Bitcoin chart. And if we take a look at the golden cross that's happening on the daily time frame, we can see that this is actually happening at a very, very key zone of support, which is going to be that $19,500-ish level. We're going to talk about why that is so important in a second. But basically, because these two symbols are happening together, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And so what we need to do as traders, even as people who are investing in this cryptocurrency here, is we need to determine, how do we interpret these signals? And for me, we can't really look at moving average crosses and say, this is giving me a signal to do something. Instead, we need to take it as, look, there's a bullish signal and a bearish signal, and in order to determine how I'm going to play this price action, I actually need to look at what is happening real time in the market. Okay, so if we take a look at the chart right here, there's a few things that become abundantly clear. Number one, On the higher term timeframes for Bitcoin, such as the monthly timeframe, it is undeniable that we are printing a bottom signal that only happens at the very bottom of a bear market. Okay, the green dot on market Cipher B on the monthly timeframe below that zero line only happens at the bottom of the bear market. This has happened for the last 4 Bitcoin cycles. So the context is that we are bottoming out. I would say that we are at the bottom of the cycle before the halving comes. Doesn't mean our low is in. It means we are at the bottom of the cycle before we start the next cycle of the halving and the next bull market. The next context that we really need to be aware of right now is the fact that we have officially now changed market structure on these higher term timeframes, putting in a low, a high, a higher low, and now a higher high. So what do we know? We know that things are looking a little bit more bullish than bearish on these higher term timeframes. Something else, we have never had a death cross on the weekly timeframe ever before. So we have no historical data to give us context into how should we be interpreting this right now. And so we need to go down to lower timeframes. And this is where I think it actually becomes very, very interesting and very, very simple to make a plan for the future. Okay, now we need to start on a more local time frame. If we start on the 4-hour time frame, something that is very, very interesting about this Bitcoin price is although things have been looking very, very bearish here, we have been unable to print a lower low in this range. In fact, if we look here, we have literally been printing higher lows this entire time. And this is going all the way back now to January 21st. Okay, so it's been now about 2 weeks, give or take more than 2 weeks, that we have been making higher lows. And in addition to that, if we just look at basically at this, right? This is a trade idea that I gave out in my VIP Discord last night to basically long the higher low from this low right here around 22.5 to 22.7K if we were getting bullish divergences on market Cipher B. And my reasoning behind that actually was, if we take a look here at the order flow, we can see that throughout this entire range, traders are literally only shorting. Okay, the majority, I should say, of traders are shorting, and the price is unable to make a lower low. And to me, that tells me there is the opportunity for a massive short squeeze to happen right here this week. There is a real opportunity for that, which is why I gave the long setup in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart and what actually did happen when we came down to that level last night, this was the level right here where I wanted to take the long from. You can see that we absolutely did on the 1-hour time frame get the bullish divergences on the 1-hour time frame, just like what we were looking for on the chart that I had posted, right? We can see clearly the momentum waves are getting higher as the price is coming right to our level, giving us that coveted uneven butt cheek pattern with the bearish, the big, bodacious, juicy left cheek, and then that skinny right cheek. And honestly, guys, this is really the key to being a successful trader, to be able to come to a chart and have a plan in advance, to know I want to short here, to know I want to long here. And if this is something you want to know and learn, you can check out the course at jasoncaspertrading.com. This will give you the point A to point B comprehensive trading system, so you always know where you're looking to enter a trade, where to take profit, where to put your stop loss, and more. There's a 20% discount in the description. This is literally changing the way thousands of people approach the charts. This is changing people's lives, literally. So check it out if you are interested, right? So as long as we are putting in higher lows, I personally feel that we could get another push to the upside. As long as we don't lose this trend line, I do think we could see a short squeeze, and maybe this golden cross could actually give us, in the moment, another big push to the upside, okay? This is contingent upon what happens in this range right here. Now, if we start to lose this range to the downside, then that could open up the door for much lower prices. Now, I do have to say that based on the price action we got today, it is not as bullish as I would have liked to see. We got a small bounce, and then we petered out right here, actually coming back down to the low. So this is actually kind of showing a small sign of weakness, but nonetheless, we do need to keep our eyes on this level right here. Now, if we start to lose, let's say, for example, this trend line, and we start to come lower, then we need to be aware of some key supports to the downside. And here are some very, very key supports that we actually do have to the downside. Let's go to our daily time frame, and I want to just show you some very, very interesting confluences on the chart. Now, we were looking at the golden cross actually happening at around the level of $19,500. Why is this so important? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we are currently trading in bullish market structure, making higher lows and higher highs. And at the same time, right now we have a lot of people getting very bearish on Bitcoin, saying, look, this pump is unsustainable. We have to come back down. We're in a bear market. The bottom is not in yet. And also, a lot of people are looking at that psychological $20,000 level as the level where if we start to lose that, people are going to say, all right, that's it. We're losing 20K again. It's time to get the heck out. Now, just under $20,000, we have a very, very interesting zone of confluence. Number one, we have the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average literally right here at that just under like $19.5 thousand. A very interesting area of support. And because a lot of people are keeping their eyes on 20K, I feel that, we could come down, take out 20K, stop a whole bunch of people out, shake out the weak hands, get a bounce for that 19.5K level. In addition, if we take a look at the CME futures market, okay, we go back to a few weeks ago, we can also see something very, very interesting here, which is the fact that we do have a CME futures gap that will be closed at $19,550. Now, what is a CME futures gap? A CME futures gap is basically just what it sounds like. The CME Bitcoin futures market trades Monday through Friday and then opens up again Sunday evening. And if the market closes for the weekend and Bitcoin continues to pump, the Friday candle will close right here, and then the Sunday candle will open up, leaving a gap behind because the price of Bitcoin continued to pump over the weekend, and then the candle opens right here. Now, more times than not, these gaps tend to fill, right? In fact, we can see a gap that just got filled recently right over here when we closed this Friday candle right here at 22,395. This was Friday. We opened up Sunday, Monday, and then on Tuesday, we actually came back down and filled that gap before bouncing from it. So we can see that we actually do have some very interesting areas of confluence down here. CME futures gap, as well as this golden cross, as well as something else which is very, very key. If we take a look at all the volume that traded in this range from basically June until the whole FTX thing, in fact, we could even pull this all the way to our present day. We can see that the high volume node of this entire range is also coming in around $19,300-ish. So we know that we have this very, very, very important zone of support right down here. And in addition to that, if we take our Fibonacci golden pocket from the low to the high, we can see that the Fibonacci golden pocket is also coming in right in that area. This is just screaming to us, very, very juicy zone of support. So here's a potential hypothesis for the way this price action could play out. If we don't necessarily lose the lows and we get another push up this week, we could come up and actually reject from the weekly death cross, right, which is just above us at $25,000. We could come up, get a little move to the upside, reject from this $25,000 key zone of resistance, and then come down. And when we come down, we could be looking all the way down to this major zone of support that's low enough that will get most people out of the market, but is still high enough so that we could do our low, our high, our higher low, our higher high, our higher low, and then get a bounce. And this time we can hit our final bullish target of $30,000. And the reason why I like this idea so much is because in addition to that, if we take a look at this potential inverse head and shoulders that is forming on the chart, this is pretty much exactly what we would do if we actually came up to hit that $25,000 level. The death cross, then the death cross happens. Everyone freaks out. Oh no, bearish, 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 bearish. But then we break out of this head and shoulder pattern, and our target for the head and shoulder pattern is literally going to be right at that $30,000 level where we have this huge volume gap here. So if we reclaim 25K, we are going to get sucked right up to that level. So this is just one scenario that I am messing around with in my mind, looking to kind of trade this. If one thing we need to keep our minds on is the fact that we need to be paying attention to what is happening locally right now, because Bitcoin has pretty much done nothing for the past 2 weeks. And so we really need to be looking at this local market structure. What happens locally is going to determine the bigger moves. So be on your guard, be prepared for the levels. No matter what happens, be prepared and make sure that you are planning your trades and managing your risk accordingly. So that is it for today's video, guys. May God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, the Messiah. I pray everybody is very, very blessed, and I will see everybody in the next video. Peace, y'all.